Hi, this is Marty with Skincare Science and welcome back. Old school versus new school. At times during a video or when I'm educating, I'll use words or I'll make a statement that doesn't really, it just comes out of nowhere and there's not a discussion about what I really mean by it, and then after I say it, I don't follow up. Normally in an education setting, I have the opportunity because I'll see the faces, but in this situation, it makes it more difficult, as I've mentioned, because I don't. I did not mean to offend or call you out on being old school and not being up with the times. Not at all. So this question comes from the same esthetician. What if I know how deep I'm going and I know I'm not doing anything wrong? That's very difficult to answer. During the video, you saw the micron and you saw the depth of measurement. Your eye cannot see that. But I think this is much easier for me to answer than not. If you're questioning me and stating to me, but what if I know how deep I'm going? And what if I know I'm not doing damage? Then that means you're thinking. That means the next time you perform that procedure, you're really going to be thinking about that slurry. You're really going to be thinking about how deep you're going. And my guess is you will back off and re-engage. If you totally disagree with what I said in all 5 parts of that video, that's fine. Perfect. But if you're now questioning or asking me, well, Marty, what if I know how deep I'm going and I know I'm not doing any damage? I'm successful. I absolutely am successful at my education. Why is that? Because you are questioning depth. That's it. I'm not there to tell you that you're wrong. I'm not there to tell you that you don't have the qualifications. I am telling you that your eye cannot see a micron. But there are a lot of procedures that happen in aesthetics that I question, that I do a 5-part video series on maybe now on this one, maybe future, who knows. But the fact of the matter is that you're now questioning what you're doing based on the information that you got from me, and that's the debate. I think that is absolutely successful both on my part and on your part. The next question, when I first read it, was kind of confused me, but this one's a good one too. Actually, they were all really good. Really impressed with all the questions. This esthetician, she's definitely got her stuff together because the questions are so varied, and I know that she listened, and I know that she's comparing her education and not falling flat on Marty knows everything, which I don't. I'm just going to stop, or I'm just going to do what he says. And that is not the purpose of any of these educational videos, not at all. What she says is on this next one was, I don't have a straight razor. I'm not using a straight razor. So I think it's okay. Okay, I think in the video it was kind of confusing, but I'll go ahead and recap. Okay, when you are using a straight razor, it is extremely sharp. If it's extremely sharp and I run it across my face, the weight will carry that blade and the sharpness of the blade no closer than what will immediately cut the skin. So what I think you're saying is that because I'm using something that's duller, it's okay. But that's, do you see what you're saying and what I'm saying? You would be better off with the straight razor because you would know that you're removing only what's not visible to the naked eye. See, the point is you don't know. Okay. So if we have the skin here, okay, and we have the hairs, I'm drawing them so that you can see underneath. Okay, do you see those lines? We can blow it up a little bit. Let's blow it up. Okay. All right. If this is the SC and we have the epidermis here and we have the dermis, okay, the hairs go much deeper, okay, and I'll go over that with a man's face and the aging process because it matters, the hairs and all that good stuff. Okay, if the razor, the straight razor, gets a cleaner shave, it's coming right there, and it's actually cutting the top layer of the SC. It's going into it, and it is exfoliating, but you can't see that happen. But the straight razor digs deeper, and it cuts right at the skin, but you can't see it. You can feel the difference. I shave with a Bic or a safety razor or a straight razor. All three will feel totally different. With a straight razor, it is as smooth as a baby's butt. I mean, you cannot see hair, you cannot feel hair, done. And it's not pulling up the hair like on Bic commercials, anything like, it's not doing any of that crazy stuff, okay? All right, that's funny. Okay, well, maybe later I'll do something on that. Okay, but you see that it's right at the top layer of the skin, and then it's shaving to the naked eye, to the invisibleness of the eye. I can't see it. So it's I don't know how to explain it. But when you come in with something duller, you're pressing and it's dull, and you're forcing. You see what I'm saying? You're forcing into the stratum corneum, you're forcing into the dermis. And let's just say if right here, this is the SC, let's say you're only going to there. Let's say you only go to there. Okay, everything I said is still true. It's all still true. If I shave, think about it this way. If I shave with a straight razor, okay, and then I go and lay out in the sun, would you tell me to do that? I would hope not. I mean, seriously, I would never think of doing that today. Well, if I don't see slurry and I'm using a straight razor, and that's the closest I can get to the skin with a blade, what are you doing by going further and you see the slurry? You're scraping the skin and visibly seeing it. And even if you're not going into the epidermis and you're staying at the SC, would you tell your client to go in the sun? Do you see how that is all connected? The fact that I'm shaving with a straight razor, which is the sharpest instrument in personal hygiene, and you're using a scalpel, and I've seen them, and you're scraping the skin. Well, how come you wouldn't do that with a scalpel that it is as sharp as a straight razor? Isn't sharper better, less pressure, smoother? You see what I mean? I think that's really the answer that I want to end on and give you. I don't believe dull is better to give you better control and safety because you're seeing the slurry or the skin cells. If you scraped the skin and you never saw anything, there would be no argument. There would be nothing for me to say. Nothing. But because you're scraping it and removing it, and you don't know what's good or bad, then that's where the questions come in. So let's end it there, and hopefully that will engage another question or give you the answers with the information you already have and the education you already have. Okay, so I hope that helps, and I hope I didn't do this too much and gave you enough information to come around it and answer you directly. But before I go, if I say this, if I was ever going to dermaplane someone's skin, I would use a safety razor, and I would never see slurry. That's it. That's exactly what I would be doing. That's what I would do. And then I would train and educate them how to do it at home. I hope that helps, and I hope that answers that. And we'll go on to the next question. So here's another fantastic question. What if a client walks in and says, I want dermaplaning? Am I supposed to say no? Not at all. On part 5, I told you exactly what to do. Do it. Don't tell the client no, but inform them completely. And have an alternate plan. Why are they coming for dermaplaning? Is it for hyperpigmentation? Or is it to remove the fine hairs? There's a difference. Don't combine the two. But have a secondary plan or a third one. For example, if the client comes in and says, I want dermaplaning. What are your complaints? What are your skincare goals? What are we doing here? Hyperpigmentation? Are you sure you want dermaplaning for that? Because there are other alternatives that might be better. Like, for example, if it's hyperpigmentation and they're going to spend that money on dermaplaning, it would be much better, much better to put them on home protocol and do a at-home regenerating cycle with skincare products. If a client walks in and said, I want dermaplaning, why don't you go ahead and do it? Don't see slurry. And then go ahead and find a skincare package that can continue the home protocols and exfoliation at home. When they leave, they're going to feel very smooth, because you will have dermaplaned the skin. You will have shaved the entire face. You will have taken those off, those fine hairs off. And then you'll want to educate them on what's next, because remember, the calls are going to come, or the communication is going to come with regards to, what do I do? We didn't eliminate anything. It's there. It's come back. So what now am I doing? Okay, and that's covered in the videos. So I get the question, but the problem is maybe write out. If a customer comes in, what am I going to do? Did the 5 videos I did they change your attitude? They change your opinion on what you're going to do next? If it has, to what degree? What are you willing to do now versus what you were willing to do before? How do you want to perform that procedure in relation to what you're going to do next, as it relates to exfoliation, as it relates to the fine hairs, the removal of them in the future? Have a plan on what you're going to do with those clients before they ever come to you. That way, when they say what they want and you have a difference of opinion, it's not the first time you're ever thinking of it, and it's not the first time you're saying it. Why don't you do it for all Fitzpatrick scales on the small scale, 1, 2, and 3? I want dermaplaning. Yes. No. Home protocol. In spa service. What are you going to do? You see, I'm not making sense right now because I'm not going to give you a plan. Send me an email, talk to me more, but that's what I would do. On the Fitzpatrick scale, 1, 2, and 3, have your answer prior to, and give them choices. And have the math all worked out with regards to the money, the services, the kit, everything that goes into that, into those options. Have it all done before any clients come in. That, in my opinion, that will help you with everything, with marketing, with being able to communicate with your clients without stuttering. Like I do sometimes, because I'm thinking about what I want to say as I'm doing a video. It's difficult. Nothing's pre-recorded in any videos I do. Okay, so with that being said, plan that, and I think that will answer your question with regards to, if someone comes in and you believe what I said, the answer is no. Have something for them. Educate them. That's an opportunity to connect with that client and tell them something they haven't heard. I think organization and planning is the best answer for your particular question. What do I do when a client comes in who asks for dermaplaning? Do I tell them no? You do not. Give them 2, 3, 4 options, but first find out why they want dermaplaning. If they say just because I want those hairs gone, see where I'm going with this? I hope that helps, and we'll go to the next question. The next question, I'm not really sure because it just said it didn't have a name. It just had letters that stated likes it. So I'm assuming what the question was is this: what if my client really likes it? Continues to do it and ignore me. That's the same thing as walking into a doctor and say, hey doctor, it hurts when I pull on my ear. It hurts, God, when I do that. Doctor's going to say, well, don't do that. If a client keeps coming back to you and says, I love this procedure, keep doing it. Done. But please watch the progression of hyperpigmentation. Watch the direction it's going. And when I say watch the progression of hyperpigmentation, that's an assumption that's an assumption I'm making. It doesn't need to be there. So let's say it the other way. Watch the progression of whiter, brighter, or healthier, brighter, clearer complexion. So if they walk in and they want it, continue to do it. All I would ask is to pay attention to what I said, right? And come up with your own solutions. That's it. Now here's a question that I get a lot, and it's, does he just recommend chemical peels? The answer is no. But through my education and based on what I know on the patents and the history of the skincare industry, chemical peels is where it's at. That's my experience. That's my education. I believe that dermaplaning and microdermabrasion are a part of the I want it now mentality. And an example that I make all the time when I'm educating is this. If a woman who is 25 to 35 walks through your door with hyperpigmentation, she is going to want you to remove that today. That is the I want to be fixed today. I want it now mentality. My response to that is this. Your skin did not get damaged and it did not get in this condition overnight. What makes you think that I can solve it in one treatment? The more invasive the treatment, i.e. dermaplaning, the higher the possibility that you will have post-procedure complications, the higher percentage of chance that in the future something is going to come to the surface as a reaction of that particular service. I don't have those issues with chemical peels because of the way that I utilize them, because of the way that I deal with home protocols. Also, when a client comes to me or speaks to me, I ask them, what is your time frame? Is it today, tomorrow? If they say yes, if they want to be, like for example, I'm going to a wedding in 2 weeks and I want to look beautiful. I say, well, you don't need me for that. Go to the cosmetic counter and go get a darker foundation. Cover up everything you got. Go get your makeup professionally done. I don't understand. The wedding or the event that you're going on vacation where the sun is probably going to be. You want to come and get a peel? Or you want to come and get microdermabrasion or dermaplaning or knee? I don't get it. In a week, 2 weeks? Well, that's a red flag for me right there. The important thing is this. Qualify your clients, quantify what they want you to do, find out what the goals are, and know that nothing happens overnight. For me, chemical peels has always been the winner, always. And also, in the development of the Serene line, I studied all the patents on glycolic acid. They're tried and true. I'll go over glycolic acid in a video that describes its history, and it's amazing. It truly is. So with that being said, no, chemical peels are not all I recommend, but they are my favorite. And just to tell you directly, my favorite is trichloroacetic acid. 5, 10, and 15 to 20%. Nothing over 20%. And I mean nothing over 20%. I've touched over 20, and there is no point. Okay, I'll go over trichloroacetic acid, TCA, later, and not for this discussion. So that's my favorite acid. I hope that answers for you on the question of, do I only recommend chemical peels? Straight up, no, I don't. This just happens to be my favorite. Okay, let's go on to the next question. So this next question is a little bit more difficult. And it's basically this. What if I know her cellular reproduction? Is the first part. Second part is, and what if I wait every 4 weeks? Okay. Waiting every 4 weeks, wonderful idea. But this is the best way I can say this. I've never met an individual or a client, no matter how many times I've touched them, no matter how many procedures I've done, I could never state that I know their cellular reproduction. But your 4 weeks, that is the standard for a regeneration cycle in the chemical peel world, and there's no reason you can't put that into the dermaplaning, microdermabrasion, or needling, or whatever you're doing. Even with laser, 4 to 6 weeks or longer. Again, I've had hair removal and lasers on a lot of different stuff, in a lot of different parts of my body, and that's a good measure, 4 weeks. So stick with that, and try not to assume, because I would never assume that I know someone's cellular reproduction. I just wouldn't. And I question how you would. But that doesn't mean you don't have a feel for it. Okay, so let's not look at the words exactly like you stated in the question. Let's look at them more of a bird's eye view of this client. Then your statement becomes more believable and or more correct, more you know your client. Okay, so I'm not going to discredit the question's first part and say, no, there's no reason you can't know that, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, she really truly doesn't know, but she knows the client. She understands the client. She has a working relationship with the client, and it's more than one. It's months and months and months, 6 months. It could be a year. You know the client. If you're getting good results and it's 4 weeks, then continue to do it and do what you're doing. Just bring in some of the education that I gave and find out where it fits. That's all. Bring in what fits and put to the side what doesn't. If you bring everything I say, that's not winning. That's not positive. And that's not why I'm here, and that's not what I want you to do. So bring in what works, set aside what doesn't, and when the time comes, remember what I said and maybe pull it in or push it out. That's how it works. That's why I'm giving these educational videos. That's what I'm doing. And a lot of times when I talk, estheticians, and trust me, it's the gamut, all experience levels. They just hear what I have to say, and then sometimes they just stop. And that's not what I want at all. I like the debates. I like the questions that you've asked, and I think they're wonderful questions. I hope there are more of them, and I hope that every answer I've given has given you a broad answer, yet focused, and given you more information to think about and use as you treat your clients. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.